you no empathy, man?
Yes.
For the suffering of other people, have you no sense of purpose?
So what the hell is that? Kamala Harris is being approachable and relatable. It's fantastic. She went on Stephen Colbert and she drank a Miller High Life. It's the champagne of beers, you know. Didn't we expect her to ask for a Bud Light? I mean, really, why is she such a transphobe? She is such a hater. What a bigot she is. What's wrong with Bud Light? Kamala. It's the king of beers. Nah, she picked a Miller. You know why? Miller's headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Everything about this person is a pre-programmed, deliberate, overt political pander. But there's another thing about Kamala Harris that drives us nuts, like fingernails on the chalkboard. It's the inauthenticity of her, the disingenuousness of her. People often say that she seems like a fraud. She seems like a phony. She seems like a fake. And one of the things that continues to ring home is that she changes her voice and accent depending on the audience she's sitting in front of. Now, we've seen this before. With Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, they would often employ sort of a Southern drawl if they were talking in front of a Southern accent. Kamala Harris has certainly done that, but she's gone even further. She does her Southern drawl for a Southern audience. She also does sort of this kind of urban ebonics voice if she's in Detroit or Baltimore or Philadelphia. But then she's used a French accent when she's been France. She also has sort of that flat nasal Midwestern accent that she, I guess, picked up when she was in Montreal, Canada, because Canada is kind of like the northern Midwest. I'm not sure. And then, of course, she's got her California voice. That's the vibe she had when she was living in San Francisco and, well, Stuppen famous Hollywood people in Southern California going from Coke party to Coke party. I'm not saying she was on Coke. I'm just saying there was Coke at the parties, and I'll die on that hill. I assure you there were Coke at the parties that she went to in Hollywood. All right, so we're used to the fake accents, right? But last night on Colbert, we got a brand new one. Check this out.
Have you no empathy, man?
Yes.
For the suffering of other people, have you no sense of purpose?
All right, so what the hell is that? I know a lot of people are saying Jamaican, which I guess makes sense because her dad is Jamaican, but her dad was out of the picture when she was, 5 or 6? She never talks about her dad. You know, the Marxist economist and professor in Berkeley who now lives in Jamaica, who is part of a bloodline of slave owners. Now, she doesn't talk about him very much. She just talks about her mom, the single mom who raised her. There's no way that she was influenced with a Jamaican accent because her dad was never around. So this could be Jamaican.
Have you no empathy, man?
It also sounds kind of Irish, right? Isn't this sort of like a mocking of sort of like a Lucky Charms thing? It's me and me Lucky Charms. I've no empathy, man. Yeah, what are you doing up there with your lack of empathy? Nah, but I think it's Jamaican because she sort of does.
Have you no empathy, man?
Have you no empathy, man, right? Are we thinking Jamaican or maybe Bahamian, which is different? Have you guys been watching Bad Monkey on Apple Plus? That is a good show. And those Bahamian accents are kind of infectious. Maybe that's it. Maybe she's been watching Bad Monkey. Vince Vaughn is the best, by the way. You got to watch that show. Let's watch this through.
Man.
Yes.
For the suffering of other people.
The suffering about, I think it's kind of an Irish Jamaican. Listen, I want you to tell me in the comments section, can you identify this and pinpoint this latest accent? What country, region, or nationality or ethnicity would you ascribe to this accent? I want to hear your votes. We'll take votes and we'll find out who actually wins. All right, because I'm fascinated by where this ended up going, or what region she actually picked this up from. But I want to give all credit to Steve Guest. Steve Guest over on social media. He's a Twitter guru. He has put together the epitome of all supercuts of Kamala's accents so far that we know of. There's plenty of them, but here she is.
Have you no empathy, man?
Yes.
You know, for the suffering of other people. Have you no sense of purpose?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Good afternoon. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Oh, it's good to see so many friends. I love you back.
Oh yeah, we remember that one, don't we? That's her Jenny from the Block accent. That's I love you back, man. Hey, right there with you. Right? You come and go to the bodega with me after the show. All right, more.
Hello to all my divine nine brothers and sisters.
Yeah, we know what accent this is, don't we? This was at the Congressional Black Caucus fundraising dinner where they raise money for scholarship funds. And she's talking to her alums from Howard University in Washington, D.C. And boy, it's just effortless, isn't it?
And my soror. And to all my HBCU brothers and sisters.
She was born in Berkeley. And when she was a child, she moved to the suburbs of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, where all of her neighbors were French Canadian. So naturally, this is how she speaks.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
All right. So now I don't know what region this might be ascribed to, although I believe this was in the Detroit, Michigan suburbs when she gave this speech. But I think the best description of this accent is just annoying. I think that's the description. It's like, hey, Kamala, at this next appearance, you should pull out that one accent of yours. You know, the one that's annoying. Yeah, that one. No, seriously, is there anything more annoying than this one?
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Can I just ask you a favor right now? Because you may have friends that are undecided on this election, especially if they live in one of the swing states. If they're in Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, or Wisconsin, could you send them this video, please? And just post it on their Facebook, or just send it in a private message if you don't want to make a public show of it, and just say, you really want to live with this for 4 years? Is this the voice you want and the person you want in your living room at a time of crisis? Is this really who you want in your life for the next 4 years? Seriously? You think we can do that? You think we can come together and do that? Really?
Because what we know, let's just get through the next 64 days. And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
All right, so that's Georgia in the house. That's the Southern Georgia accent. If anyone's from the South, I'd love for you to comment about how authentic that is, huh? She's so relatable, isn't she? I don't know why people call her a phony. I mean, just that, especially when she starts laughing after she employs her accent. Because, you know, she always throws that laugh out there when she's most confident and comfortable with what she's just said. That's a telltale sign of someone who's really comfortable in her own skin.
Yes, we will. So let's get right. You know, the one thing about all of us is we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is good work. The thing that we like about hard work is we have fun doing hard work. Do I see people testifying? Can I get a witness? All my life I had to fight. It ain't over.
Has anyone psychologically analyzed this yet? This has got to be a phenomenon, right? Is it called like chameleon syndrome? or something, or minute, right? This has to be some sort of neurosis or some sort of personality disorder. I know for a fact that there are psychologists who listen to this show because one of them is related to me or watch this show. I know for a fact. Can you help me out? This has got to be a thing. This has got to be some sort of disorder, psychological disorder, that depending on the room that you're in and the people you're with, you start to take on their vocal characteristics because of some sort of inherent insecurity or desperation to seem like you're one of them and that you are relatable. Please like me. I will even talk like you if I have to. This has got to be a thing. And it keeps going on, by the way. I mean, this is not an accident. Okay?
With us in government, we campaign with the plan. Uppercase T, uppercase P, the plan. And then the environment is such that we're expected to defend the plan. Even when the first time we roll it out, there may be some glitches and it's time to reevaluate and then do it again.
Yeah, so that one was French. That was when she was in France. And I guess it was during the pandemic, as you could tell with the masks. I guess that's the only one that actually might naturally come to her because she was raised around a bunch of Quebecois. Although you ask any French Canadian, they're not speaking French, they're speaking Quebecois. And you ask any person in France, and they're like, I don't have no idea what those Quebecois are saying. I can't understand a damn thing. I mean, Celine Dion, only way I understand Celine Dion is she sings in English. That's what a Frenchman will say to you. Trust me, never the twain shall meet. I once worked with a French company that was producing a show, and one of the set designers was Quebecois, and it was the funniest thing. Because to me, it's all French. And the French producer was like, I can't understand a fucking word this guy's saying. Sacre bleu. All right, so we drop the French now, and we get back to, I guess, more North American accents. Because what's the point of using the French accent? They can't vote for me.
It's just reasonable. I support the Second Amendment, but it's reasonable to say we need an assault weapons ban. It's reasonable to say we need universal background checks, that we need red flag laws.
Can I tell you something? I used to live in California, and I lived in California when she was the district attorney in San Francisco. And I lived in California when she was the attorney general. I had gotten out by the time she became the U.S. Senator. But can I just tell you something? The entire time she was in the public eye in California, she never once had a Southern accent. Have you noticed that none of these clips are from her time in California? Not one of them. They're all from the time that she became a U.S. Senator or the vice president. This is all adopted for the audience that she's touring the country and talking in front of. And you would say, well, what? Even in San Francisco, you've got like an urban population. Yeah, they don't talk like a Detroit urban population. Okay. The people who live in San Francisco, I assure you, this is not a thing. This is not a thing. San Franciscans sound like San Franciscans, not like whatever the hell this is.
I will tell you, when we get this done together, my friend, and when I am president, I will take on the bad actors who exploit a crisis. Is at stake leading up to January 5th. Look at what's happening right now in this state. We're looking across the country at so much devastation. People who have lost family members, lost time being able to go to work, lost time in terms of our children's education and the days of their education they have missed. There's been so much loss.
Lost time. Lost time. Because that's South Montreal. Is there no one in her circle that says, ma'am, what are you doing here? You realize? And is there anyone in the audience that says, oh, thank God, finally a politician who talks like I do? But she doesn't, actually. Even if you're in Georgia, does that sound anything like anyone from Georgia talks? It's her interpretation of what you're supposed to sound like. Are we south of the Mason-Dixon line? Oh, all right, I better say Tom then instead of time.
These years, and in particular this year, we're looking here in Georgia at the fact that 1 in 7 families is describing their household as being hungry.
Hold on, that was beautiful. She said she drops the G on looking, but then keeps the G on describing.
Particular this year. We're looking here in Georgia at the fact that 1 in 7 families is describing their household as being hungry.
You're either dropping your G's or you're not, ma'am. In the same sentence, she drops the G on looking, but then retains the G on describing. She couldn't even say describing, right? Shouldn't it be describing? Oh, how, honestly, sometimes I look at the race and I think, how in the hell is she even doing as well as she is? And then I remember that she's got all of the media and all of pop culture and all of organized education and just like every major corporation and social media and high tech and everything on her side. So I guess that's the answer. That's why.
We're in the midst of a hunger crisis in America, and it's hitting Georgia hard. 1 in 7 describing hunger in their households. 1 in 6 Georgian families are describing an inability or difficulty to pay rent. 1 in 4 small businesses in Georgia have gone out of business or are about to go out of business. And what we are here to talk about.
All right, that's the end of that, the super mix there, a super cut of all of the accents. And I hope you had fun with it. Yet at the same time, you recognize what a complete and total fraud she is. And the best part about this latest one, the Jamaican accent or French accent, or no, Irish accent, whatever the hell it was on Colbert earlier or last night. It's all, this was on an appearance where she was trying to show how genuine she was and how relatable she is. And even in a setting with Stephen Colbert, where her whole job is to show the world how relatable and genuine she is, she comes across like a complete and total fraud. It's just, I don't know about you, but I can't face 4 years of her in my living room. That's the bottom line. And hopefully we're not alone.